Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. I just have to say, ask and you shall receive. Oh my word, you people. I've opened up a Pandora's box. The last video I put up, I was telling you all how much I have a quilter's block. I really do. I didn't feel like doing anything big, blah, blah, blah. You know that. And I said, oh, does anybody have a suggestion? Well, this video is half tutorial, quarter tutorial. We get to the end, and I'll tell you when. If you don't want to hear me talk, you can jump ahead to the little tutorial that I have. And 3/4 of projects that you people have suggested, and I'm gonna go through them. I thought it would be cute. But first of all, oh, let me see. Sorry. I want to get to the little. I want to get to the end at the end of this. My little tutorial. I made. Somebody had suggested I had made this little cosmetic brush roll, like a cosmetic brush holder rolled up, okay? And it's so funny. It's so funny. I don't wear a lot of makeup, okay? So I didn't have any cosmetic brushes. I put on concealer for my dark circles and a little bit of lipstick. Sometimes an eye thing, right? So I'm thinking, what are cosmetic brushes? It's funny because our daughter Malia, she has beautiful skin and she does her makeup. And I just sit there in awe, like, oh, and she contours and she sculpts, and her makeup is so pretty. So she didn't learn it from her mother, right? So anyway, but I thought, oh, that's a good idea. So I looked it up and I'm thinking, what is it? What is it? So apparently people use tons of brushes. I don't know. I put lipstick on my cheeks for a little bit of blush, right? Anyway, so I thought, well, people do use brushes. I went out and bought some brushes so I could show you. Like, aren't I good? So this is a placemat. And again, somebody said, what's up with you and placemats, right? I just had to laugh because I'm like, I'm on this placemat kick. Oh, Lonnie, oh, please forget. Look up Lonnie. Oh, I forgot to write her name down. Did I write her name down? There's a woman on YouTube. Just look up placemat tutorials and she'll come up. But I don't know if she has this because I made this up myself. I don't know if she's on there with this placemat little hack here. This is one placemat, blah blah blah. I got it from Walmart. I've been doing stuff, but look what I've made. I made a vinyl lined brush holder plate out of one placemat. So I got my brushes. Look, they're brand new. I don't know. Maybe I'll give them to Malia. Although these were like 14 bucks or something, and she has like a brush that costs $75 or something. I don't know. Whatever. But I got these cheap little brushes, and I thought I'm gonna look professional. Here's my little thing, and this is one placemat and a little bit of cording, and of course the vinyl the vinyl. Iron-on vinyl that I'll tell you about. So there's my little pockets. You're obviously going to be customizing your own pocket width to your own brushes. I addressed that. So anyway, that's to come. But as I was saying, I asked, and you guys, I'm going to go through it because you don't mind, because I will do some of these in the next couple coming weeks, because this has sort of gotten my creative juices flowing a little bit. I was excited. Some of them not so much, but some of them very, very much. So I came in here and I took another stupid placemat and made that. But anyway, an adult lunch bag, but not insulated. I'm thinking, so that was one of my first comments. I took these from comments. Like a person, again, I could put all the names, but I won't bore you. You know who you are. They go to the office, they need a water bottle, a coffee cup, a Tupperware bowl of soup in a waterproof bag, not necessarily insulated, because I'm thinking, what do you mean? I'm like, they're like 10 bucks at Walmart or something, you know, go buy one. But then I thought, no, not insulated. But like a wipeable fabric. So that's a good idea. Mug rugs. Everybody was like, do mug rugs, which I think my next project is going to be a mug rug, but it's a mug rug with a twist and a story. You know me and my stories. Oh, and I got tons of requests for sewing machine covers. Now, Tawanda or Lawanda, I'm sorry, again, please excuse me. You've been asking me to do a sewing machine cover. I have my Juki and my brother sewing machine, and now my Sailrite sewing machine, which have the large extension tables. that I use all the time. So people who use a larger machine with a large extension table, I don't know how you do a sewing machine cover for that. However, I do have right down here, I have my two little, more little home sewing machines that perhaps a beginner would have that don't have the extension table. So I guess that's the sewing machine cover that you're speaking about, or the sewing machine. That is just grandmom's sewing machine, just a small sewing machine without the large extension table. And that I think I could do, a sewing machine cover. I got lots of requests for that. Oh, and also an iron holder. Now, oh, let me see here. Oh, excuse me. I had made this bag. Is this the one? Yeah, I had made this one. And was it Susan? Yes, I believe it was. Had said, oh, when I was showing you this vinyl lined bag, it almost looks as if an iron could fit in here, but perhaps making a bag like this, maybe with small handles, with the silvered fabric that you put on an ironing board, and perhaps like an insulating, metallic insulating that you would make like oven gloves, so you know something doesn't burn, several layers. So that was an idea. So that I might come up with something perhaps just slightly larger than that to hold an iron in. A warm iron from, say, a retreat, or if you're going somewhere. A small tote, like a small tote, I'm making totes like out my wazoo. A small tote, but a child's one, with pockets inside and out. That would be easy. A notebook cover. A laptop case. I have made them before. I made my husband a padded laptop case. We don't have a laptop, though. I have to figure out the size of a laptop, because we don't have any laptops anymore. Oh, and this was interesting. I think I would need a pattern for this, with all due respect. A ponytail scrub hat. And I know a lot of them, nurses and RNs and first responders, have to wear a scrub cap in the hospital setting. But like if you have long hair, I looked it up. I didn't know what it was. You pull your hair back, and your hair fits in that ponytail scrub cap thing. So that I would need a pattern for. But again, I'll put my thinking cap on. Oh, somebody suggested a fleece winter hat. Don't love working with fleece. I've made them before. And a memory bear. Awesome idea, but memory bears, you need a pattern. You need a pattern. My friend Trish, I did a video, last year. My friend Trish makes memory bears, beautiful memory bears. She has a specific pattern, you know, that you really, really need. So I probably won't be doing that. A very sturdy eyeglass case. I like that idea. When I make it, I'm going to be using a heavy-duty foam. Now, you can only buy the foam, I think, by the yard or by the package. So if you only need a little bit, I don't know how practical that would be, because I think a sturdy foamed lined interfaced, that would make a sturdy eyeglass case. So that's my idea. And also a sewing machine mat. A mat that goes under your sewing machine right in front of you with pockets. Now, I've seen them. I've seen them a million times. I'm wondering, for me, I wouldn't love it. Because I think, for me, maybe, I have never used one, that like my scissors or my seam ripper or my tape measures or whatever would get in the way of my project. I'm not quite sure. But that is an idea. Sewing machine mat. Clothes for babies. I'm not doing that. Sorry. With all due respect, I made a million clothes for babies and for my daughter. Again, patterns. I'm not doing that. Simple table runners. I have several tutorials on a simple table runner. And a placemat for silverware and napkins. That's an interesting one. I have done, and then somebody had said I had seen you do a variegated thread, a multicolor thread painting on a panel. Again, that's not a simple, easy project. That's free motion quilting. That's not super simple. There was quite a few suggestions for a cell phone pouch, perhaps for an older person who is constantly missing their cell phone, like a crossbody just the size of a cell phone. They're misplacing their phones with like sort of on a lanyard type of a strap. That's an idea that I quite like. And a walker bag, or a stroller bag, or a walker, mostly a walker bag. Again, I would need to have the dimensions, which I could look up, of a walker bag that attaches. A doll quilt, it's fiddly. It's fiddly. Flannel applique. Now that's interesting, because I've never appliqued with flannel. I would imagine it's the same, although I don't love working with flannel. I'm so sorry, people. I'm so sorry, flannel people. I've made millions. I like rag quilts with flannel because they fray and flannelize like a, that's not a word, flannel, fray and rag really nice. But applique, I'm not sure. Oh, this was something. A couple people, oh, I love you, but like, no way. But a couple people saw my lady quilt back here. Could I do a tutorial on that? And do you think that's easy? I just thought I've done a tutorial last year on how I made that quilt. And it took me weeks and weeks and weeks to do that. So that's not a quick, easy project for gift giving. By all means, knock yourself out if you want to. A gingerbread house. I thought that was interesting. To make a roof. That was an interesting one. Oh, project bags, which I probably will do. I have seen them on Pinterest. I've seen them, and I'm thinking, I like that idea of a project bag. A zippered project bag. Easy. Zippers shouldn't throw you. Oh, look at that. A zippered book cover. That would have to be more of like a, almost like a gusset put in. Curved seam. It's curved. Trying to wrap my head around that one. Don't need a pattern, but it might be a little tricky for a beginner quick project. These are quick, easy gift-giving projects for the gift-giving season coming up. Oh, a shopping cart handle wrap. That was my idea. Although I looked it up and it's like been done to death, right? I'm not so clever. Nowadays with COVID and, germs all over the place, a vinyl lined fabric Velcroed tube. So you just shove it in your purse, you come into the supermarket and you wrap it around the vinyl down to the nastiness, and then you're holding on to the fabric. It's Velcroed on. And again, wipeable, sanitized. That's a good idea. That would be so simple. And again, I could probably cut up one placemat and make 3. Yeah, something like that. I'll wrap my head around that. A baby changing mat I have done. And again, a baby changing mat I used pull fabric, P-U-L, and it's again, it's a baby soft wipeable. It's not vinyl, but it's a beautiful soft fabric that is wipeable. That they actually make diaper, the outside of baby diapers, organic cotton baby diapers out of them. That would be a baby changing mat. That's a good idea. I've made them before. Crossbody bag. I've done a tutorial previously on a crossbody bag. A dog leash. I thought that would be pretty cool. You would have to get the, you would have to make it sturdy, which I could show you, but you would need, of course, the hardware, which is you can get at the stores. A lanyard, again, you need, that's super, super easy, but you'd need the clippy clips that go on the end, and a key fob. I've made a million key fobs that I would sell or give away when I would sell a quilt. A nice webbed, pretty fabric key fob. That's a nice little present. An iPad case, which I did an iPad case previously. Not an easy project with a snap closing. Again, one of my tutorials way back. A casserole caddy. Are people eating casseroles? I'm eating cereal. I'm so fed up with cooking. But kudos for you people who are cooking casseroles. That's an idea though. And again, I've seen them. It's flat and you can put like the spoon in it as a holder or something like that. I might look into that. Working with panels. I have a million panels and I've worked with panels. Not necessarily an easy job. I did just make a tote bag with the panel. I've made tote bags with panels. But again, that's not a super easy, simple, quick thing. That's hopefully what this is all about. A weekender bag. Oh, that's not an easy project with no rounded corners. I like my rounded corners, folks. No, I like my rounded corners, and this person said no rounded corners. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that. This was interesting. Dishcloths made from fabric, like cotton, regular fabric, like this fabric. Is this absorbable? Like, I suppose when you get a dish towel, it says 100% cotton, but are there grades? I'm asking you, are there grades of cotton? Like, this is cotton quilting fabric. So that would be something I would have to look into. Obviously, terry cloth are towels, but she's asked it about bought fabric. So I'd have to think about that. Oh, Marilyn, I thought you were on the same page. An apron, simple, for full-bodied ladies. That's what she put. I thought, oh, that's such a nice way of saying we're fat. Oh, you're not fat, you know. I used to be short and curvy. Now I'm short and fat. I put on 20 pounds. And am I bothered? Not really. Not really. So an apron, because I'm big. My whole family's a bit on the larger husky side. They used to call us huskies. The aprons are this big. You know, they're for people that are this big. And I'm thinking, you know, they cover me here, right? They cover my left boob, you know? And I'm thinking, we need an apron for full-bodied ladies. We're like a fine wine. We're full-bodied, right, Marilyn? So I think I will do that. And all you skinny ladies, you can just, you know, you can make it half size. A large bag tutorial with all the measure. Oh, my tote bags that I've been making, right? Well, that's not an easy thing. I'm done making tote bags. With all the measurements, that's tutorial after tutorial after tutorial. And I've done that. And yeah, been there, done that. Oh, this was interesting. A needle case. Do people use hand needles? I suppose for hand quilting. I've seen some beautiful ones. Lovely little ones. A hobo bag. I have made a hobo bag. I've made several actually, years ago. I used a pattern. I did use a simplicity pattern for that. But it was simple. It was a very simple pattern. But again, it wouldn't be a real easy, you'd have the side, you need a side gusset and curved seaming. So that wouldn't be super simple. Dog outfits. That's interesting. Again, fiddly. I don't know if I'd be interested. I don't have a dog. And the dogs my family have are huge dogs. So I think you're talking about mini dogs. We don't have them. Reusable napkins. That's just a hunk of fabric, right? Cut into a square and hemmed. Yeah. So that's a reusable napkin. Yeah. This was the one of them. Excuse me if I've forgotten any of you. I've written them down the last day or so. A baby mat, like a sensory zone. I was going to be doing that anyway. A sensory apron for perhaps autistic people or dementia patients, or somebody, even somebody who's blind. They have these sensory mats that people who have issues like to fiddle with, little zippers. I'm putting stuff together, objects together to actually try to make a sensory mat. So that might not be like the baby mat, but I'm going to be doing something like that. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that necessarily right now, but because that's not a silly little gift. These are ideas which are awesome ideas, and I'm going to be doing quite a lot of them. I'm sort of motivated. Aren't you excited? Aren't you excited? But yeah, so I did this little cosmetic bag. So this is my tutorial coming up. I did have an idea. Oh, quickly, let me just go off camera and get it. I had an idea about, because again, as you know, I have a block. I had thought, how would this work because I have this block, but because I want to get back into sewing, maybe with Jen, if things calm down here and we can start filming again. I had thought about a block party. I've done 2 of them, and you've quite enjoyed that. I've done a block party with 12-inch blocks, and I've done a block party with the 9-inch blocks. Okay, my 2018 and 2019 block parties, and that took up like a block a week. Amount of you, however many, were following along. You made your sampler quilts. Super. Well, I've sort of been there, done that. We've made those. And how many blocks can I explain to you? You know, gleaned from whatever I've made them from the past, from a pattern or something that I can simply explain to a beginner. But I was thinking perhaps in the months to come, if I can get some feedback, if any of you are interested, it would have to be maybe a certain amount to be interested in it. I have a book called 1,000 Block Quiltmaker Book. Now this book has 1,000 blocks from different people. Now, I cannot, because of copyright reasons, print out a pattern and show you how to do this block. I can't do that because these are the designers, today's top designers, have put together, which is only fair. So what I'm saying is, I was wondering if any of you would be interested in you purchasing this book, wherever you can purchase it. I believe it's not cheap. It's like, or if you can get it at Joann's, maybe with a coupon, it would be maybe $20, but on Amazon, it's like maybe 30. And that's not cheap. But you have the actual book, and then you watch me over my shoulder, and you following along with me how you do it. Now, I was looking at this and I thought, oh no, what a good idea, but it's not. We don't have, it comes with its own CD. And we don't have a CD player on our computer to print things out. You would need that. I mean, you would have to do that. You would have to have a CD player. And all of a sudden, I mean, I know we can get a CD thing for our computers to print things out, but it's involved. To do this project with my friends who would want to follow along with a quilt along, however long it took, but say I suggested this one, block number 347. You need foundation paper, and that would be printed out from your CD through your printer. Yours, not mine. I mean, I would do it. And then you watch me make that block. But you have obviously contributed to the book. You would have to do that. So I don't know. I'm just saying if you would want to watch me do that. So that is a thought to come in the months to come, if I can again wrap my head around a certain project. Just let me know what you think about that, and again, however many people would be interested in that. But for now, up until probably the end of the year, I am going to be embarking on many of these projects. Many of them. Oh, I did want to address the last thing before my tutorial. Quite a few of you, very interested, would want me to show you, which I could very easily do, a holiday themed projects, stockings, tree skirts, ornaments, things like that. Pretty quick, nice, easy projects. Maybe some of you know I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and we don't celebrate, as you know, the traditional holidays. I don't celebrate Christmas or Easter or Halloween or anything like that. We celebrate many other things. We celebrate weddings and babies and showers and graduations. We celebrate a tremendous amount of things. We just don't celebrate the traditional holidays. So I wouldn't be doing that. We celebrate seasons. I think probably my next tutorial, small little tutorial, will be an applique of a fall themed seasonal thing that I'm thinking about. In the wintertime, I can make things that will have snowmen and snowflakes on. Just not the traditional holiday specifically related to, in this instance, a lot of people were interested in Christmas things because I don't celebrate that. But we do, as I say, we do celebrate things, and I can make things that you could just, tweak a little bit for your own holiday gift-giving season. But that's that. So, but very good ideas all around. As I said, I asked you for suggestions, and man, I was flooded, but it's exciting. It's exciting. So this is my foray into this little thing. This literally didn't take very long. If you don't have a placemat, it's a piece of quilted fabric. It's a little quilt, 14 inches wide by 19 inches tall. That's it. A little bit of cording, and of course, then you need the vinyl that I show you. And then you can make, if you wear makeup, you can get your little brush. This would make a beautiful for colored pencils. You could make a little holder for colored pencils. Art brushes, super for that, for an artist. Even something like this, you wouldn't even have to vinyl it, for knitting needles or crochet hooks. A little divided organizer. Awesome. So I hope you enjoy this little tutorial. Again, all vinyl, wipeable. You can sanitize it. I think this is a super little thing. One placemat and a bit of cording. So I hope you love it, and I do hope you hang around for the next several videos. I'm going to put the video up of our flooding situation See how that's going. It hasn't rained here. There's a storm brewing and I'm like, oh, I can't take it. But anyway, I do hope you enjoy this little tutorial to follow. And thank you so very much for all of your suggestions. We're all in this together. So this little project doesn't take much at all. The only thing is you have to purchase this product, which I've talked about, this Heat and Bond iron-on vinyl. Love, love, love the vinyl. Really, you can do quite a lot with it. That is by Heat and Bond, okay? This is how it comes. You can get it either online or at your quilt store. Or at, I got this at Walmart. You can get it at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or Joann Fabrics or online. And also, again, I'm using a placemat. And somebody said, why are you using placemats? Well, it's obvious why a placemat is such a lovely little thing to use for projects. It's because it's a fully lined quilt. It's a fully quilted bound quilt, okay? It comes fully quilted. It has a top fabric, a bottom fabric, and a batting inside, and it's fully bound. Oh my goodness, you have a quilt here. Now this placemat, again, this is from Walmart. I had gotten a bunch of them. This placemat measures 14 inches wide by 19 inches tall. I'm standing here. Oh, I'll take these. This is a Pioneer woman. She does these lovely, you know, like down home country lovely things. Oh, here, I'll take this tag off here. And they're just real sweet, real sweet. So for this little project that I'm making, you're going to need a placemat, and you're going to need your Heat and Bond. And oh, excuse me, I have about you can get about a yard of any kind of cording. And again, I have this sort of like a satin cording for this project. You can use a cord, you can use ribbon, whatever, about a yard of it. We're going to cut that. So now what we also need, if you're going to be using doing a makeup brush holder, are your makeup brushes, okay? So here are some makeup brushes that I have. I have, in addition to, I have this larger this larger brush here, but I'm not putting this brush into this holder here, just because this holder will only hold X amount of brushes. Now, obviously, if you have a million brushes, or obviously, if you're a professional, you're not going to be just watching me. But like, if you have a really heavy, thick brush, you have to be aware that when we're making our pockets for our brushes, that the fabric is taken up. And this brush here is too big. I could make this wider. I could add another placemat maybe and cut it down. But this is the placemat that I'm using. If you don't have a placemat, as I said before, for this little project, for these amount of brushes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 brushes, this is a 14-inch by 19-inch quilted little sandwich here, if you don't have a placemat. If you want to make your little quilted sandwich. Now I'm using my placemat, and I have these brushes that are going to go into my holder. First of all, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to take my vinyl lining here, and I'm going to figure out I can't give you exact measurements because your brushes may be bigger or smaller than mine. So what I'm going to do is, with the 19 inches, with the long bit facing towards me, I'm going to fold up. I want this. This is a real pretty placemat, okay? And this would be like the correct side, perhaps. But I like this side for a change, to use as the side that this will be the pretty side, okay? And this will be the inside of my bag here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold up my placemat here for my brushes here. How much is that? I'm going to fold that up about 5 inches, okay? Perhaps. And I'm going to just make sure that my brushes, yeah, maybe just slightly less. Maybe slightly less. That my brushes sort of fit in there nicely, because I am going to top stitch here. So you don't want them out like that, and you don't want them to disappear, obviously. You want to be able to grab your brushes hopefully by the metal here, so you're not getting your hands dirty, obviously, when you're grabbing your brushes. So yeah, I think about 5 inches or so is good for me. And I'm gonna like sort of finger press that. And again, with the beauty of a placemat is that they're already bound. Simple, super simple. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, I should say, from the top of my bag. The bag's going to end up looking like this, okay? This is not rocket science. Oh my goodness, how fantastic. You can bring it down a little bit more, like that, and then we're going to roll it up, okay? So that's my lid. But my point is here, you could just do your things down here, but when I think of makeup, it's going to get dirty very quickly. So I thought, well, why can't I put a bit of the vinyl, which you know I love this product. Why can't I put a bit of a vinyl lining in here on this bit where our makeup brushes are going to be touching? And then if this does get dirty, if you unroll it and you have your lipstick and it falls, then your fabric's not going to get dirty. It's going to be completely wipeable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure. I want to put vinyl from here to about an inch below. And about an inch below my pocket. So that from here to here measures about 9 inches, okay? So it's about 9 inches by, say, 14 inches that I need a piece of my vinyl for, okay? So I'm going to cut a piece of vinyl. Let me see if I can do this. So I've cut my piece of vinyl. I've cut it 14 inches wide and 9 inches long here. And I've already started it because you have to get that little, your fingernail to start pulling the vinyl away from the backing piece of fabric here, okay? So what I've done, it's not sticky on the back, but it should sort of adhere to your project pretty okay, to your fabric pretty good. So the vinyl is on the top. And what I'm doing is I'm holding it, and then I'm just going to be pulling the fabric backing off of the vinyl, smoothing the vinyl onto my fabric as I go along here, okay? So I'm just pulling this piece of paper off, just smoothing my vinyl, and pull my pocket down. And the reason I'm not doing the entire placemat, you could if you wanted to, but I found that when I did which I'll show you in the beginning, my sort of prototype, which didn't turn out great. When you go to put the brushes in here, which aren't the dirty end, it was very, very stiff and hard and sticky with the vinyl against the vinyl. So I just found putting it just the first inch or so, just the first inch, and then this is just going into fabric. I found that fine. So now my vinyl is adhered carefully, and then let me just see if I can pull this over. Excuse me, I don't know what I'm filming here. I'm just going to come over to my ironing board, and the instructions are, if you've seen it again, the instructions are with the grid side up. The grid side up, you want to just adhere the vinyl, okay, with the paper side up. When you're using any kind of adhesive, you don't want your iron, obviously, to come in contact with any kind of adhesive, and this is vinyl. But this product is wonderful that it does adhere to the fabric. So I'm just going to adhere the vinyl to my fabric. When you want to read the manufacturer's instructions for adhering your vinyl. So what I've done is I've put my vinyl down, I've put my paper grid side up and really adhered it. It's holding your iron on there for many seconds onto the paper to adhere the vinyl. Then what you do is you flip your project over with the paper on it, and you iron, or you press the back of your project here, okay? And then you wait until your project cools, your paper cools, before you peel your paper off, okay? It comes off beautifully like that. And there is our lovely vinyl. And as you can see, it really does stiffen it up, this project. There's our lovely vinyl covered vinyl covered placemat here. Now what I've done is, as you can see, I have it marked about 5 inches. Goes right up. Look at that. Goes right up. Now what I'm going to do now, this is pretty much you know, coming to the end. Every makeup bag that you're going to do, makeup brush bag you're going to do, is going to be a slightly different, because you're obviously going to have different brushes than I have here, okay? But the first thing I'm going to do is, because of the pulling of on the stitches of our little pockets, because they're raised, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my sewing machine, and again, I won't bore you. This is a very quick project. I'm going to stitch really well. I'm going to stitch really well on the outside of my project here, through the binding, and then on the inside. So right on the outside, and then on that binding there, on both sides. And I'm really going to reinforce those stitches there to make this completely flat, okay? To make my pocket completely flat. That way, and reinforced. Whoops, whoops, whoops. That way, when I go to mark for my pockets, you see how that pulls up? When I go to mark for my pockets, this is a polyester placemat, so it's a little bit stronger actually than cotton. But even if it were 100% cotton all around, I can be assured that if I really stitch that well, and then put my largest brushes in, and then make the next step is figuring out where my pockets are going to be. I find that if I stitch it at both sides very well, then I have a better chance of my pockets not rucking up or getting messed up, and I can really then just figure out the size of my pockets. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and I'm going to stitch both sides of this down very well. So I'm going to try to get a little bit closer to show you what I've done. I've put the vinyl on, and I've really reinforced this edge here. I've gone up and down a couple of times, and as you can see, I went over and I made sort of a little square, okay? And I've really reinforced that, because there will be stress on these seams here on our pockets. I've done that on both sides. And then again, if you can see, totally decorative, or totally to make it look a little better, I did a tiny little top stitch just at the bottom of my placemat here to make it look more like a proper bag than a hunk of placemat with a bunch of seams on it. So it looks a little bit more finished off here, okay? Now what I'm going to do is that, again, this is all going to be different for you. I'm going to start marking my pockets that I need, the size pockets. And again, they're all going to be a little bit different for you, okay? I'm going to start marking where I want my pockets to be. Where's my others? I have a couple. Anyway, I'm going to start marking, but I'm not going to mark it. You can mark it with either a pen, or I have a marker here that you probably can't see, but I can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start marking my pockets here where I want to stitch. And I'm going to, you can, by all means, you can either eyeball it, or you can just, when your brushes are out, obviously, you can just eyeball or actually take your ruler and mark where your pockets are going to be. As you can see, I've started by marking my, I'll just put this over here. There you go. By marking my pockets. This is my larger one. As you saw, my larger brush I've wanted over on this side, and I've just put a pin there. Okay, I've just put a pin there. I've put all my brushes in, and they get consecutively smaller, obviously, because of my smaller brushes. But here's my next one. I've already done one, and I've pinned right through. Now I can tell that I can eyeball myself. I can eyeball a straight line to make my pocket. I can eyeball that. But again, by all means, if you wanted to do a ruler, you can. But as you can see, I am going to reinforce this top edge. Oh, look at that, 5 or 6 times, and then come back down. Just go slowly. If your fabric is quilted, you are going through what, 6 things of fabric, but that's fine. And then right off. And I'm going to reinforce the bottom there. Pull that there. So as you can see, I've made my second pocket. I'm going to come along and I'm just going to continue making my pockets that I have marked. So here is my little cosmetic bag with my pockets sewn, reinforced, because as you see, obviously, when you put something in a pocket, it's going to ruck up a little bit. That's why I've really reinforced these pockets here for the amount of brushes I have. Now, I have noticed that when you go to, my thing's almost done, right? And here's my little package, and when we roll it up, but when you go to fold your placemat folds beautifully on the outside. What a lovely little package that is. You can see the seams, so make sure your little edges are finished really nicely. You can see that on the outside. That's fine. But what I don't love, this is nice here, what I don't love is this product, which is awesome, which is fantastic, but it creases nastily. And vinyl's not really meant to be creased because then it creases. So I sort of made a feature of it. I did a double, this is where I folded it. That's where it was going to naturally fold for my size brushes. So what I did is I just did a decorative stitching on that fold, on that sort of nasty fold line, so it sort of hides that crease and sort of makes a feature of my flap over. Here's the top of the flap, which goes over really nice now because I put that line of top stitching, or that double line of stitching along there. Now I did not make a mistake, but I omitted a part. And it's no big deal, but right now I'm going to attach my ribbon, my cording here. And again, these pieces are about, say about 18 inches. So yeah, yard, so about 18 inches. Now, as I was saying in the beginning, I quite like the tabs, the cording when we go to roll it up on oh yeah, we're going to roll it up from the big side to the little. Okay, we're going to roll it up from the big side to the little. So we want the little side to be the cording straps that go around the case. Okay, you don't want to roll it here because then it gets awkward, this larger brush there. Okay, whatever you want to do. But I should have, before the first thing when I marked my pocket up, I should have attached my cording right under there, right under the pocket there, and then I could have hid it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just hold the edges together, and probably right over here, as you can see there, keep the edges together. I'm just going to really adhere this cording on. Get rid of the raw edges, go over as I do, like that, so it doesn't come off, so it's really nice and sturdy. And then when that's done, what I'm going to do is, all I'm going to do is on the end, is I'm going to make a knot, okay, right towards the end of my cording here. And again, this is where you could go nuts. You could put on beads and then make the knot. You could do, or make a knot, then beads, then another knot to hold the beads on. You could have a really beautiful ribbon on here. And as I was saying in the beginning, or I will say, this little case, you could embellish it. You could really make it so beautiful. This is a placemat done, but you could put a beautiful monogram on here if you had either an applique or a machine embroidery for the person that you want to be giving it to. You could do, like this could be plain with maybe a message printed inside, or anything. Funky fabrics, pretty fabrics, darker fabrics, and again, this, I love it because this vinyl, again, if you put your makeup on here, you unroll it in a hotel or wherever, and your makeup spills, it's just completely wipeable. So I'm going to go attach my ribbons right now, and my bag will be done. I have attached my cording, and it is absolutely never going to come off. So I'm going to fold that up. Now, as you can see, because the bottom has been taken up, the top flap is a little bit bigger. If you wanted to, if you were so inclined, you could have curved the corners here and had a nicer, more decorative thing. I'm not bothered because this is more of a practical thing. Pretty but practical. So what I do, I just sort of, it will get rucked up because it's, you know, it's the nature of the beast, but I sort of just tuck that in, and then I just start rolling again from my larger bit on. I'm going to just tuck that in like that, holding my thing, holding my flap in, and then I'm just going to bring the cording around here. I'm going to bring my cording around, one on each side, and then attach it. Oops, no, one goes one way and one goes the other way. Crossing over, and then I'm going to, however, yeah, I'm going to bring it up back over here, and then, yeah, 18 inches does good, because then you can really tie it tightly, doubled, and make a pretty bow. And there is our lovely little padded, vinyl lined cosmetic bag. I think that's lovely. Everything is nice and there's nothing showing. Our brushes are safe. You can just stick that in a little travel bag and everything is fine, wipeable. You don't have to worry about your nasty makeup brushes before you got a chance to wash them. You can just put them in here and everything's washable. So I hope you love that. Yeah, #1 project of many to come. Thanks, folks. See ya. Bye.